Katarina's Garage. My name is Katarina Lloyd, and this is my '86 Mustang. I also we're going to be doing a little bit on just kind of what's wrong with the two, like what's wrong with her and what's wrong with Stitch. But before I get into that, I hope you all had a fantastic New Year's Eve. Because this video should be out New Year's Eve, but you might not see it till New Year's Day or a couple days in the future or whatever, depending on when you see this video. But hopefully I'll have it uploaded tonight. So with that in mind, it's January 31st. I do want to get into though, and I apologize for honestly just videos haven't been coming out much recently. It's because it was hard to come up with new ideas of what to do when there wasn't anything going on. And yeah, so that kind of happened that way. But I had a development with the car. I also have some news. And yeah, so let's get into it. So the other day I went to start Lilo here, and it's not plugged in. I mean, it's not plugged in now. It's not that cold out here. It's only about 3 or 4 degrees, but Celsius, not Fahrenheit. Not super cold, but when the sun's not on you, like when it's in behind the trees, like it is over here, it's not exactly super warm. So, but it's not cold either, really. But the thing is, not having this thing plugged in because of the CFI is not a great system. Think about it as a electronic carburetor, essentially, and that's pretty much what it is. So it actually needs to be warmed up when you start it, otherwise it's just gonna bog down and die on you. Similar to what a car vehicle does. But the thing is, what's going on though with her right now is I'm having a big issue. And well, I'll show you, provided that it does it here. When I start it here, let's see, there. Okay, now, sorry, you're gonna hear the door mong, but there's not much I can do about that one. The thing is, I'm just going to start it like how I normally do. What I like to do is actually pump it a couple times and then start it. So, 1, 2. Oh, and of course it's not doing it now. Of course, when I wanted to show you guys what's wrong with the car, it doesn't want to do it. Okay, well, that didn't work out as planned. But yesterday and the day before, when I was starting the car for the first time, this is a cold start like you just heard there, it was actually revving out. First day it was to 5,000 RPM, yesterday it was to 4,000 RPM. And I was trying to figure out, okay, what is the issue here? And so I picked up some carb clean, I went to the store, got some carb clean, and sprayed the hell out of the just around the throttle body and actually inside the throttle body as well, as much as I could without just taking it apart. And it seemed like it did something, but I don't think it actually did anything. It just kind of went away on its own. Because I found out the next day, did it again, start it, right up to 4,000 RPM. And just like, yeah, shit, okay. So, and I was going to take it in to see, okay, what's going on? And, well, he was closed. The mechanic that I was going to take it to, I guess he closed up a little early, so that's fine. I get it. It's around New Year's. Might be drinking or something. Totally fine. But yeah, so the throttle was basically sticking, right? And the pedal would go dead. But the thing is, I could still pull the pedal back up, but it would do nothing to the engine. So I don't know. I was thinking maybe it was something along with linkage, but looking at the linkages, they're all fine. There's nothing wrong there. So yeah, I couldn't really figure it out. Ah, sorry. And no, I'm not sick or anything. It's just my normal health stuff and being asthmatic. You cough, and it doesn't sound pretty. Um, but yeah, and the thing is actually with Stitch here, or Stitch, this is Lilo. Something that I am going to do, and actually not super soon, but I'm going to be getting the parts soon. Is well, okay. I'll let you guys in on it. It will be on the channel. I will do a video on it, and we're gonna do a little bit of a video series of taking it apart, somewhat. Hopefully, with any luck. Is I'm gonna be getting a New Edge V6 automatic Mustang, right? And it's a friend's car. He wrote it off quite a while back, and so he's been driving newer Mustangs. Like he's got a new 2020 California Special, pretty cool car, honestly. I tease him a little bit about it because I like the older California Specials, and I just the newer California Specials just aren't the same to me. But it's still a cool car though. I do like it, and he's put an exhaust on it. It sounds really good. He wants to put a supercharger on it and all that stuff. Who knows? We might do a YouTube video on that car in the future when when he pulls it back out again in the summertime. Because he has a park for the winter, right? That's fine. But anyways, so I'm gonna be buying that off of him. That was his. Was that his first car? I can't remember. But anyways, this car, it's silver on black, and you'll see the paint job he kind of did on it, which is, it's not to my taste, but it doesn't actually look that bad, to be honest. Just obviously with the rad cam, it looks of it. And it's just a beater. But the thing is, what I'm going to be grabbing, because I'm going to be swapping the motor in this, right? And because I want modern fuel injection, and to do that, I'll need the heads off the other motor. But to be honest, it's just so much nicer to grab that entire engine that I have on the pallet, which, if you look at my Instagram, which is Katarina's.garage, you'll see pictures on there. You have to scroll a little bit, not too far though. When I first picked up the car, I took some pictures of the engine and posted them on there. But that engine is actually from a Windstar. And I was trying to figure out, okay, how can I make this actually work to fit in Lilo? Because the thing is, the motor mounts are the exact same, in the exact same spots to mount into the car. But then the transmission bolt pattern is different. It's the same as the 3-liter Vulcans. Which were in the Taurus, the Aerostar. You had them in the Rangers as well and stuff like that. Now the thing is, what I found, and provided it works out this way, is that if I can find the transmission from a 3-liter Ranger, it'll work. And because it'll bolt right up, because the Rangers had, well, with the 3-liter, obviously same bolt pattern as the 3.8 that the Windstar had. So with that in mind, I'm going to take the transmission from that, bolt it to that, and then hopefully drop it in here. Now, I'll probably have to get a new drive shaft, which, okay, that's fine. But then I will, instead of having a 4-speed overdrive, I'll have a 5-speed overdrive, because I'm keeping it automatic. I don't really want to have this one as a stick. It'd be kind of fun, but Stitch is going to a stick, which I will tell you guys about that here in a little bit. And yeah, it'll be really fun, and it'll be a 5-speed automatic, which is fine, and it's not like I'm going to push a ton of power through this thing either. Been thinking about maybe putting on a supercharger, but we'll see for sure if I do that or not. And if I do, it'll just be an Eaton M90, same setup as what was on the a Super Coupe, which oddly enough, I'd probably be getting the intake and everything from a Super Coupe. But as well, like with that other car that I mentioned, that New Edge, I don't know what year it is. And for reference, the New Edge Mustangs were from 99 to 2004, right? That was when they were built. So it is the modified Fox platform, which is the SN95, but they call it the New Edge just because it was different, right? It's a new generation type idea. Even though it's pretty much the same as the Fox body. Underneath, it's very similar. But, yeah. So I'll be getting that here in the next couple weeks. But also, something that comes with, which I'm really excited about, is a set of BBK shorty headers. which, yes, they're for a new edge, but they should fit the Fox body just fine. I will find out. And they will go on here, and so, you know, I'll get even more performance out of it. And I also want to do a dual exhaust on here. I'll probably keep the stock exhaust on this side, and then just do an X-pipe type idea. You know, like, get the right, or the passenger side exhaust, and do an X-pipe, and do it that way, right? I do duals out of it. It'll just look better, and as well, perform better, too, for that matter. Yeah, and I'll get, you know, I'll be stealing out of that car, I'll be taking the computer, the injectors, any sensors I might need, and the intake for now, although that intake might not be put in. And then basically, also, I'm going to be robbing the rear end, because that is going to be traded for another rear end, which is going to go into stitch, which I'll talk about when we go over to stitch there. But, yeah, so there's that. You know, very excited for that. That should happen in the next few weeks. We got a dump of snow last week, so it's made things rather difficult to try and coordinate that sort of stuff. As well as I might have some vehicles sold here in the next few days as well, so that'll be exciting. There's a kid interested in the Shelby that I have for sale and the Turismo, so that's cool. He's just out in Caroline. You know, sounds like this might actually be his first vehicle, or at least his first project, so that's pretty damn cool. I'm honestly all for a kid. I just, you know, hope he knows what he's getting into, but because it probably won't be an easy project. But mind you, I did the same thing, right? My 81 Mustang was quite a wreck when I got her, but in that Stitch, and that's before I even named her. So it took a while for me to come up with a name for Stitch, but Lilo, not so much. It was about a week. But yeah, anyways, so with all of that out of the way now, let's go take a look at, well, let's go anyway, stand over by Stitch, because I'm not going to start it. I am going to tell you what happened the other day, though, when she was acting up. I decided to take Stitch out. So, give me one moment here. So, the other day, car was very, very, very stuck, right? And so, because it doesn't have as much weight in the back as what Lilo does with a convertible top, like this has a bunch of weight in the back with sandbags, and my jack is in there, and some other crap. You can't really get into the trunk very much at the moment, but you can see, well, because she's running so rich, you can see every single spot that she was stuck, everywhere that's black, right? Just me revving out of a hole type idea, and it's a mess here, right? But yeah, that was really annoying. It got stuck. What was that? A total of, I think, 4 times, and then I got it stuck twice more afterwards in the same day. Just like, oh, are you kidding me? So yeah, she's not very good in the wintertime. Lilo is, but also I think Lilo's tires are a little better than these, even though these are like really nice tread too, but tread patterns, you know, make a difference. But yeah, anyways, so with Stitch, yeah, because that happened, because the thing is, with Lilo acting up that way, and I couldn't quite fix it at the time, I decided to say screw it, and take Stitch out, and I hadn't driven Stitch in a couple weeks. And just got stuck. It took me about 40 minutes to get it just out of here, really. It was horrible. But I got it done. And so, yeah. There's that. But the one thing that I'm going to be doing to Stitch, which is very, very, very unique, because my plans have changed, right? Due to the fact that, well, I know where there's a parts car for some things. I know where there's a cheap transmission. And she's going to go to a stick. But I'm not putting in an S-Rod, nor am I putting in a T5 either. Hell, it's not even a Ford transmission in general. In fact, I don't think Ford ever used this transmission in their cars. I'm going to be adapting an NV3500, if I can, if it'll work, an NV3500 into Stitch. And it's actually out of a Silverado. So, yeah. And the thing is, I'm picking up that transmission for like $100 off of my friend that That's where the engine's actually sitting, is that the transmission's in his shop. And he's selling it to me for that. So he's like, that's why I'm doing it, to be honest. If I wasn't getting it for that, I probably wouldn't be doing the swap. I'd probably just go with the AOD that I'd be getting in the future, or take the AOD out of Lilo and put it in here, because it would work. But yeah, so there is that. But there's been some more developments as well, because I told you guys that I was initially going to paint Stitch. You know, I was gonna pay for it, and I was gonna get some help with like prep and stuff like that, and then a friend of mine was going to give me the gun and say, have at it, right? And I'd be paying for the paint. However, a friend of mine down in Carmangay, and he is the one that's actually giving me all of the performance parts for this car. Well, the ones I've been talking about for months, you know, the intake, the head, the header, you know, that stuff, right? And I'm hoping by February, like end of February, that this thing is done. Because I'm going to go down there for a week. I'm going to help him, because this is going to be completely sandblasted. And we're going to have to tow it, because right now she does not do highway speeds, because that carb is just horrible at the moment. You know, I haven't fixed the choke yet on it. I haven't wanted to. It goes around town just fine, so that works for me. Because I'm not taking her on the highway, I don't need to. I've got Lilo, even though Lilo was having those issues the other day. Apparently she's not now. It's just like, go figure, you're on camera, you don't want to show your party trick. But, yeah, just my luck, right? But yeah, so, and basically what's going to happen is, well, because you guys know, if you've been following along with this car, of how the other side of the car looks, right? You know, you've got this gray, or I should say like this gray, and then on the bottom strip here, it's red, right? Now, the entire car is going to be like that, except for it's going to be mint. You know, there's going to be no dents in it, because we're going to pull all of them. And it's going to be gorgeous when I'm done. And then it's just, you know, moving on to interior and replacing all the seals, right? Because at the same time, when I have it down at his shop, we're going to be putting that head, the intake, the new carbon, going to be getting a new cam for this thing as well. And with any luck, when I do all that, I'm hoping that when I take it to a dyno in the summertime, that she dynos to the wheels at 180 horsepower and 280 foot-pounds of torque. If I get anywhere around that, I'd be ecstatic, right? And the thing is, at the same time too, because since I'm getting the new edge, that I'm trading the, you know, the rear end out of that for the rear end for this, because the rear end for what's going in this is an 8.8 with 3.7/3. So this thing will go quite well, actually. It's not going to be a super fast car, but to be honest, right now she's not fast anyways, especially with how it's running. But when it was running a little better than she is now in the summertime, I have this app. It's just a free app, and you know, don't have to pay for anything, right? So, and it's fairly accurate within probably about a 10th, so it's not too bad. But considering it's free, and the thing is, this thing did 19.2 in the quarter mile just on a stretch of road that I ran on. Coincidentally, she's about a second faster than Lilo, which is sad actually. I figured this thing would be slower, but guess not. So yeah, and I did 2 runs with Lilo actually, with a top down and a top up, and obviously it did better with the top up, but you know, it's that old thing. So yeah, and as well, when the roads get a little nicer, I'm actually going to be buying another Mustang. Now, a friend of mine has a 83 Mustang convertible, which the story on it's kind of interesting because it was initially bought as a write-off for this guy's daughter, like not the friend that's selling it to me, it's somebody else. He bought the car off of that guy. That, you know, it was bought for his daughter, and the thing is, he didn't tell her about it until he fully fixed it up. And then gave it to his daughter, but she didn't want it. So it's like, okay, I don't understand that, to be honest. After looking at the car, it looks to be in pretty decent shape overall. Not that the pictures I have are great, but you get a decent picture of it, right? And the thing is, it was never re-inspected for the salvage. So it's still a salvage title right now. And you know, I am buying it, not sure what I'm going to do with it, because as well, it's been parted out some, so depending on how many parts are missing out of it, will dictate what I do with it as well. Because I do want to see if I can get it up on an alignment rack, because my friend has told me, the friend that's painting this, and we're doing all the work to this, he said that if it lines up on an alignment rack, he can sign it off pretty much on the salvage. It's like, cool. So, I will see about getting it on an alignment rack here in town, and go from there. Because I'd rather not have him tow it and then it doesn't line up on the alignment rack and just waste his gas on towing it, right? Which, I mean, I'd pay him for it, don't get me wrong. But, you know, he's down in Carbon Gate, which is a couple hours from me. So, with that in mind, you know, just saving him some time and money, too. Yeah, so there's that, right? And with that one, that's a 3.8 convertible. Is that a GLX or GL? I think it's a GL actually. So, you know, we'll be kind of flooded with Mustangs for a while. And I might be getting even another one too, which is just like, oh my god. You know, but the thing is with that one, it is, I think, an 82 with the 200 inline 6 notchback, just like Stitch here. But the only difference is 1 year difference, and the interior is not the same color. But it is a leather interior. But what's interesting about this one's a GLX. So this is a fully loaded car. I think it even has more options than Lilo does. But the thing is, something that it has, which is, it was a not super popular thing to do, but it did happen quite a bit back in the day. It was I think it was a dealer option, not a factory option, was the Phantom Top Mustangs. Now, what the Phantom Top is you take the look of a convertible and you put it on a straight coupe like this, and you make it look like a convertible, but it's not, and it's just basically the same canvas top with foam in it, and honestly, it can rust the roof really bad. So it's just kind of cool to see one though, because I actually haven't seen a Fox body with the Phantom Top, right? It's kind of a cool thing. But that one is really rough, and if I can get it cheap enough, I'll buy it, but otherwise, no. And it's got the 200 inline 6, just like Stitch does here, right? Which is super cool. I do like that aspect of it, because I know these engines, and I know how to revive them and stuff, but it's also missing the steering column. It's missing the, not the front fenders or the hood, but that kind of front bumper clip area, you know, with the headlights and everything in it. It's just like, well, I kind of need that. You know, it's missing the tail lights and the sail panel on the back too. So, with that in mind, he's asking $500 for it, and it's just like, I can't pay that for it. So, we'll see what happens. That won't be until after I'm done with the new Edge for sure. And the thing is, with the convertible that I mentioned before, that 83 that I'm getting, that because his truck is a rear-wheel drive, the trailer has no trailer brake. He's gonna be waiting until the roads are like absolutely bare and really nice until he delivers it, which is fully understandable. I'm not in any rush to get that car, so it's fine. And that car is not costing me very much either. I will I'll let you guys know, like, when the videos come out of these individual cars, which is gonna be within the next few weeks, to hopefully have these, and then I'll have more study videos then. And just right now, with everything going on, like, with not much going on, it's hard to put out videos, right? I'm sure you guys can understand that. But as well, with any luck, a friend of mine's coming up here hopefully in the next week or so. And the promotional stuff that I was talking about, well, not the promotional stuff, I should say the giveaway that I was doing, might finally actually have some stuff in my hand that I can show you guys for the giveaway. It's not going to be anything huge, but it'll be a couple little cool things. And yeah, I don't think there'll be anything for my channel yet, but we will get, you know, some stuff in the future for my channel. This is just to kind of promote some other groups that I'm a part of and stuff like that. But anyways, I think I'll end it here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and again, I really do apologize for how slow the videos have been coming out lately. Just again, I don't think you guys want to see the same thing over and over and over again, right? And it's hard to figure out, okay, what can I do next? Right? Because considering my budget is limited on this stuff, I mean, all the cars that I mentioned, if I pick them up for, like if I picked up that 82 that I mentioned for the purchase price, all the cars that I'm buying will be under $1,000. So with that in mind, you know, it's kind of one of those things. And the new Edge, I've got a lot of that stuff pre-sold in that car. Just need to get it out. It actually won't be here. It'll be out at Greg's. And yeah, we'll be doing a little bit of videos on that. And yeah, so very excited for that. But anyways, I'll end it here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys have a great new year, because you know 2020 wasn't the best for other people, and I can understand that. Mine was up and down, but mostly up, to be honest. There's been a lot of positives that happened this year. It started out not great, but it turned into something really fantastic for me. So yeah, and I understand not a lot of people share my optimism that way, and I fully understand it. 2020 was a shit show for a lot of people, but yeah, you know, anyways, good luck with what you're working on. Hope you're staying safe during COVID-19, and yeah, check out my Instagram down in the description below. It is katarina's.garage, like I mentioned before. There's not a ton of content on there, but I'm trying to be more active on there as well, you know, posting pictures of the cars and stuff like that, of what I'm going to be doing. There'll be a lot more content here on there in the future, as well as on YouTube. So yeah, anyways, and also, we're approaching 400 subscribers. As of filming this video, there's 396 of you, and I thank you guys all so much. We're coming up on that 400 mark, which is fantastic. I didn't think I'd ever get here. So yeah, big plans for the future, as you heard. So I'll talk to you later. Okay, bye. Pikachu. Pika.